Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, what's going on? This is Crystal Taylor, the owner of Fitness is Not a Game. I am your health and fitness coach who specializes in helping women over 40 lose weight without dieting or exercising for crazy amounts of time. And guess what, y'all? It is Fitness Friday. If you're here, say hey. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching this on replay, type replay in the comments so I know that you came back and watched. And also make sure you tag your folks and share it out because we are back for part two of debunking the nutrition myths that are all out there. So before we get started, we got to drink water and we're going to get into it. So I want to ask, what are some things before we get started, right? Because I'm curious, what are some nutrition tips or ideas or whatever that you've heard that you've always been curious about? I'm curious to see if y'all can um, touch on, if y'all can guess the ones that I'm going to touch on today, because I got four more for you. I did four last week. Let's see. I'm trying to see real quick which four I did last week. But I know last week we talked about, oh yeah, needing carbs, talked about skipping meals, we talked about detoxing, and we also talked about fats, right? So this week, what we going to talk about? Yeah, I brought some tea too. Y'all know I be having my tea because we hitting the heavy hitters today. When I'm going for the meals and like, because there's so much information out there, and I know it's difficult to decipher what's real, what you need, all that good stuff. I get it. So let's talk about it. If you have any questions, please make sure you drop it in the comments so that we can address them. Yeah. All right. So myth number one. So y'all, we coming. We coming for it today. The first myth is that, oh, I don't know like that. I only speak English today, Roy. But one of the first myths I want to address, and we're starting off easy, is the whole protein discussion. It's so interesting when people decide that they want to get healthy, they want to lose weight, they want to start working out. There's this influx of how much protein they need. They're trying to eat all the protein all day. Now, should you have a healthy mix of all macros all day? Yeah. Should you be eating protein in each meal? Yeah. The same way you should be eating carbs and fat too. But I see people all of a sudden, they buy all the protein bars, the protein shakes, the protein chips. They're just protein, 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 because they've heard that it helps to build muscle. Protein doesn't necessarily help to build muscle. What it does, it helps to repair muscle, right? So it's, yeah, we're not going to get all scientific with it, but it is imperative. It is imperative on muscle repair and growth. And I say that because you're like, Kristen, you just said it's not to build. It's not to necessarily say, oh, if you have this protein, then you're going to get bigger. It's helping your muscles, because when you use those muscles, you're essentially tearing the muscle and it's repairing itself. And each time you tear it, it is growing. And that protein is necessary to help repair so that the recovery can be better. I hope that makes sense. I know it's all over, but you don't need as much. So how much do you need? That's the question. So often people are like, well, how much do I need? On average, you only really need about 0.36 grams per pound that you weigh per day, right? So let's do some quick math. If you are, let's just use basic, let's just say 200 pounds. 200 times 0.36. Oh, I did the wrong number on that one. Let me back that up. 0.36. That means you need about 72 grams of protein. That's it. Now, of course, if you have a sedentary lifestyle, it's different. If you're super active, it's different. But on average, somewhere around 0.36 grams per pound is all you need, as opposed to feeling like you just got to load up. All right. So that's the first thing I want to touch. And that's the baby one. because I do want to touch on that. I wanted to touch on that, I should say, because I know that there are a lot of people who are um, getting back on the horse per se, and they start reading and they're like, oh, protein, because you see, people walking around the gym with their shakers. You see videos of them eating raw eggs and all of that stuff, and they big. It ain't the protein only that has them that big. I'm just saying. That's all I'm gonna say on that. You go with where you want to go on that one. Yeah. So if y'all ready for the second myth, drop a two in the comments, because now we're about to get to the nitty gritty. I wanted to touch on that one, but this the fun stuff we about to talk about. Because this the stuff that folks been running around following, swearing on everything is the savior. It's going to help them lose weight. It's definitely healthier. So number two, I'm going to get some water. Can we talk about organic foods? Because there's this belief that organic foods are always better for you. They're always more nutritious, and you should just spend this extra money because it's organic. I'm going to try to say what I'm going to say without getting put in, because we're streaming right now on Facebook and on YouTube. Now I don't want to get in no Facebook jails, no YouTube jails, and none of them restrictions. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I mean what I say, and I stand by what I say. Woo. The guidelines for a food to be considered organic are laughable. Tell me what y'all think organic means. When you hear organic, what does that even mean to you? Because most people think, oh, organic means that it was grown in such a natural way. There are no pesticides, that, they just put it in this good old soil and they're tending to it every day by hand. It's like I would have grown it myself. Let me know if that's what any of y'all think about organic. Well, I'm here to tell you that organic does not mean that. Organic foods can still include pesticides. That's not saying that they were just grown straight from the ground. They still include those things that you think you're running from. Now, are the levels less? Sure. But there's not. If you think you're just eating completely clean because it's organic, or there's no pesticides used, yes, there are. Yes, there are. And on top of it, a lot of people also think, oh, I'm going to get more nutrition from it. They don't strip it. The nutritional value is basically the same. It's basically the same. So what is TT Crystal saying? That's what my babies call me. My nieces and nephews call me TT Crystal. Coach Crystal, whatever. Coach Crystal saying that for most items, you can probably save your money and not buy organic, right? Like, kudos. Like, let me say this. Let me say this, and let me say this loud and clear. Kudos to my folks who are so invested in themselves, their health, their family's health, their friends' health that they're hosting, that they are willing to spend the extra money to buy organic. That's real. When you walk through and you say, you know what, I'm going to get organic because I want to put the best products in my body. Shout out to you. And that is facts. And I'm not telling you, asking, recommending, suggesting any of that you should stop. I'm not. What I'm saying is that I want you to do so with all the information. Because a lot of times, like, oh, chair, oh, Now, I've talked about this before about how labels, child, can be misleading. They'll slap some stuff on the front, and you be like, "Oh, for real? That's oh, this is much healthier. Oh, this is much better," and it's really not. We get misled frequently because what I was fixing to say, and I'm gonna go on and say it. I ain't no punk. It is what it is my belief. I don't trust the FDA. Honestly, when I see stuff is FDA approved, I don't want it. USDA too, I be like, so what? That means absolutely nothing. I said what I said. And it honestly makes me more scared to consume those foods. I'm just being real because I know that the guidelines for them to pass certain standards, like I said, they're laughable. They're laughable. So that's not going to encourage me to buy. If anything, it encourages me to run. Now, I ain't saying you got to feel the same way. I'm just sharing what I know. And if you think I'm making it up, oh, please feel free to research it. The FDA guidelines, there, oh, I'm not even gonna tell you. There was a documentary I watched before where they had videos of them in their what are they called? Meetings or sessions or whatever, where they're deciding what to approve and what not to approve. And they're laughing about their own guidelines, like it doesn't matter. So I'm just saying, I'm just bringing this up because I don't want you all to feel like you have to spend that money because it says organic when their guidelines are just this different. They're different from what you would regularly eat. That money could be invested somewhere else. That money could be invested into doing something else for you. Whether it's self-care stuff, whether it's hiring a coach, whether it's, travel, it could be investment in real estate, all the things. And you're like, Chris, you want to went from buying an organic banana to talking about real estate. You just never know. Everything adds up, right? It's just a matter of how you manage your money. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it's organic or if it's conventional. I just want to make sure that you are including and considering a variety of fruits and vegetables a day. All right. That's what I want y'all to have. Yep. So that's myth two. That wasn't that bad. Wasn't. Drink up, y'all. Mm. And also, real quick, because I know that nutrition, it was important for me to have this conversation because I know difficult how difficult it is for people when it comes to nutrition and losing weight and all that stuff. So that's why I want to have this conversation. But I'm also having this conversation next week in the It's Not Too Late Health Reset Summit because too many folks say, Chris, I need to get back on track, but I've been tripping. I don't know what to do. It must, it's been so long that I start on Monday, turned into next Monday, into Monday in the first month of first Monday of the next month. Turns so much, but it's not too late, y'all. So that's why I'm having this health reset summit. We're going to talk about all three pillars of health and fitness and weight loss. So of course you got your mindful eating, aka nutrition. You got your movement, aka exercise. But we're also going to talk about mindset. So we're going to have conversation about the three pillars for health and fitness to get you back on track, and not just what you've been doing wrong, but let's talk about let's break down why we've been doing what we've been doing, but then also get some tips to move forward to get back on track, right? Because it ain't too late. It's not too late. Then you can just sign up for that healthresetsummit.com. It's free next Saturday, October 7th. All right. So that was myth two. Back to our regularly scheduled program where we are going to talk about myth three. Child, we gotta talk about this one. Get y'all people in the room because somebody need to hear this. Folks be thinking, and I did say that. Whenever you hear incorrect grammar like that coming from my mouth, I mean it. And I know exactly what I'm doing. But folks be thinking that they can't lose weight because they eat late at night. Who thinks that? Who's felt that? Who's like, girl, that is what happened. Let's talk about it. It's so interesting when I hear, oh, excuse me, when I hear stuff like that. When I hear you shouldn't eat after 8 o'clock if you want to lose weight. I'm going to say this. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Whenever you hear guidelines that are that specific, especially when it comes to time, don't believe it, or don't believe it all the way, I should say. There's some truth, or there could be some truth to the statement, right? But who am I to tell you what to do at 8 p.m.? Especially, let's just say I was about to sing it, night nurse, and you don't get off work until 1 or 2 in the morning. But you keep hearing that you're not supposed to eat after 8 to lose weight. Everybody's body clock is different, right? So it's not necessarily about the time per se, but you do want to give your body a chance, a better chance to burn off the energy that you've given the body via calories prior to let down. Especially, it depends on the type of foods that you're eating late, right? It's going to be way harder for your body to break down because there's really not any nutritional value in it anyway. A late night burger and fries, cheese fries, and a Coke than it would be if you had late night carrots and celery. Very different. Very different. So that's something to think about. But with the eating late, that's not necessarily what's causing you to gain weight. At the end of the day, weight loss and weight gain, they all go back to calories. Point blank and the period. We're not talking about how you look. We're not talking about how you feel. Hey, we're talking about the number on the scale. The number on the scale is determined by how many calories you take in and how many calories you burn. Point blank in the period. 1 pound is 3,500 calories. Somebody put 3,500 in the chat. So that means if you eat 3,500 calories more than you burn, guess what? You're going to gain a pound. But on the other hand, if you burn 3,500 calories more than you eat, guess what? You're going to lose a pound. That is the pure, basic, unadulterated science when it comes to weight loss and weight gain. Period. It has nothing to do with what time you eat it. Now I say yeah, how your body breaks down, whatever, and how you look in the mirror, that's different. How you feel, that's different. But the actual number on the scale has zero to do with the time that you eat. Let me know if this is making sense. Let me know. And the thing is this, when it comes to this, yes, 1 pound is 3,500. When it comes to this, what I want from you, because the whole goal is for you to live a healthier life, whether that's losing weight, whether that's building muscle, whether that's taking care of you, whatever, getting your health numbers better, getting your blood pressure under control, all that good stuff, whatever it is, that's what I want for you. And with that, that's why I said at the summit, we were going to talk about mindset because it's all about how you think about food, your relationship with food, and the relationship. And a lot of people overlook that. They don't even realize they have a relationship with food. I want you to, you know what? This is for everybody. Real quick, take a second. And I want you don't have to write it down. You don't even have to share it in the chat if you don't want to. But if you want to, please feel free. I want you to think about what comes to mind when you think about food. How do you look at food? What do you feel about food? That's the question. What do you feel about food? Take a moment and think about that. Right. Somebody says, I only cut my food by, what did it say, by 6 p.m. so I can get out of the door to run in the morning to work. You got to know your schedule and your body, what works for you. Oh, somebody said nutrition, good. But a lot of times, like when I think about when I watch people in their relationship with food, like can I tell y'all a joke, a story? Mm. So I wish I had the picture up so I could show y'all. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. But my husband and I were out to eat a couple months ago, or whatever, last month. And we've always had this debate, aka discussion, because I get so mad when I see it. But I'm gonna show y'all. Here it is. Found it. I found it. And I want y'all to tell me which one you are, because we have a whole discussion about it. So y'all tell me. Let me know if you can see this in the chat. All right. There you go. Y'all see that? Let me know if you can see that. Let me know if you are an A or if you're a B. Oh my gosh, I drink some water. So I took this picture because there's a marked difference. Come on, my A's. There's a difference between how we eat our chicken. And every time he eats chicken on the bone, I get mad. I'm like, sir, you may as well get nuggets because you leaving out his meat. To which he replies, there's more chicken, Crystal. And he's like, the people who eat like an A, y'all operate from a place of lack and da 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 da. But this picture is real because a lot of people do operate like that, right? Me, I like food and I'm not going to waste food. I'm not. But I do that also. Right, he is leaving food behind when y'all tell him. But I also know that when it's time for me to stop, right? As you see, there's more wings on the plate, like there's still some over here. We ain't eat all the things. We probably could have had another wing or two over there if he just would have finished what was on his bone. But I'm just saying. But I say that to say that a lot of times when people eat food, they feel like they have to eat everything that they see or it's wasteful. No, you don't. Our relationship is with food is tearing us up. It's killing us. So I say all of that to say is we're talking about, and I'm gonna take this off because that cracks me up. I keep looking at these wings and I can't stop. In my head, I'm laughing. But when it comes to our food, it's not about the time. It's not 6 p.m. It's not 8 p.m. It's not 10 p.m. It's our relationship. Because if you just say, if you're paying attention to what your actual cues are, you're going to make better decisions. Now, if you are just all of a sudden, you feel like eating everything at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, typically that's some type of emotional eating, you're bored or whatever, and you're eating things that aren't the most nutritious. You're not even hungry. You're bored. It's funny because my clients tell me sometimes, she says, sometimes I'm up and it's late and I get hungry. I think I'm hungry. I hear your voice in my head like, you ain't hungry, you bored, go to sleep. And sometimes it's facts. But if your stomach is growling, if you feel that, then you probably are hungry. But then even then, it's a matter of making a decision on what's a better choice for you, period, regardless of the time. So we got to stop looking at these reasons for where we are. I'm going to say reasons sound like excuses to winners sometimes. And I want you to ask yourself, is that a real reason or is it an excuse? Because it's really not the time at all. It's about what you're choosing to eat and what your relationship with food is. I just want you to be mindful. All right? All right. I know I was going to go a little long on that one. I didn't mean to go that long. That's why I got through the first two pretty fast. Then we're going to finish out on another myth that's a hot topic. Oh, drink up. Y'all ready for the last one? Type of 4 in the chat. I ain't stretching. Well, I guess maybe I am stretching. I'm going to try not to go too hard. I'm just trying to have this conversation. Yeah? All right. Number 4. Number 4. There's a myth. I was going to say belief, but there's a myth that gluten-free diets are healthier for everyone. Let me know if any of you are like, I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm going to do gluten-free. Let me know if that's you. Let me know if you've considered it. Let's be honest. It's amazing. Oh, I said I wasn't going to be on here this long. Well, too long. I get bothered by any diet that is done specifically for weight loss. Any diet or eating trend, maybe, that's done for weight loss. Diets don't get you where you want to go. 1, they're temporary, and 2, there's right, exactly. And I can't see your name, Facebook user, but gluten-free diets are typically for people who have celiac disease or if they have a sensitivity to gluten. Period. And y'all want to hear something? I hate to burst your bubble, but a lot of times when you see people who like what happened? Oh, I did this gluten-free diet and I done lost this weight. A lot of times that's because they don't know what they can't eat and they're just confused. And they like, forget it. I'm just gonna eat vegetables. Sometimes that's honestly what it is, y'all. But this is the thing. I want to bring this up to you because, and this is with a lot of different products. It's not just about gluten-free. Whenever you see a product that, now I'll tell y'all, oh child. Okay, this is another thing. Oh, hey Tanya. This is the thing. It cracks me up. These businesses are smart, y'all. They know what the trends are, so they put whatever the new fad is, they put that on the label quick. Talking about it's gluten-free. It should be. It's chicken breast. But they do that because folks who are trying a gluten-free diet are confused about what gluten is. They just willing to do whatever it takes because they saw somebody else on a gluten-free diet and they lost weight. Fam. Oh, just doing whatever. Jeez. Huh. But as I was saying, right on, come on, be with it. That's what I was about to say. When you see these labels that are gluten-free, sugar-free, fat-free, and they typically supposed to have them, y'all, they replace something else with it. So that doesn't mean it's necessarily healthier for you. That means that what they say is not in there, ain't in there, or it ain't in there enough for the government to say they have to say it's in there. That's a whole nother discussion. I can tell y'all, though, don't believe the hype. There are guidelines for all the things, and the American guidelines when it comes to nutrition and food and all that stuff, they're laughable. These other countries are laughing at us because they don't care about us. They want us sick. I said it and I stand by it. But as I was saying, when it comes to these gluten-free products, if it's something that would typically, have gluten, they're like, oh, this is a gluten-free version of it. They added something else in it. Whether it's more sugar, excuse me, whether it's more fat, and the unhealthy fats too. They've done something else to it. So unless your doctor has suggested or recommended or prescribed that you follow a gluten-free diet, don't focus on that. Just focus on having a more balanced diet. Focus on getting those whole grains. Because when we talk about the misleading information that we've been fed, like multigrain, man, multigrain is typically, I call it the hot dogs of grains. Y'all know what that means? Hmm. That means that they've stripped these grains, and what's left over, they put it all together. So it's still some nutritional value in it. I'm not saying it's garbage, but it's not the whole grain or the completely healthy or healthier version that you think it is. That's why I said Crystal is not here to tell you not to eat anything today. I'm just informing y'all so that you can make an informed decision, so that you go into this understanding what you're walking into, right? So multigrain just means they got a whole bunch of grains together. And it's a shame, but in my head, I just imagine them at a factory or somewhere and they just sweeping up all the stuff like, oh, you got the corn over there? Cool. You got the leftover barley over there? Cool. You got the leftover oats? Cool. Let's put it all together, shake it all up. Multigrain. Now, there are some where it's multigrain made out of all whole grains, but that's where you have to look at your nutrition list. You have to look at the ingredient list. And in those first few ingredients should list whole grains for you to know whether it's the real deal or not, right? Not saying that it's not going to have some other stuff in it. I'm not saying that. But the majority of the ingredients, because the ingredient list is listed based on the majority of the component, the composition down to the smallest. So if it's mainly made of water, water is going to be listed first. If it's next with whole grain, it's going to have whole grain next. If it's sugar, it's going to say sugar next, right? So you got to look at it that way. So it's not about necessarily removing gluten. It is really about making sure that you're eating whole grains if you're looking for the healthier version. But you got to look at your labels, right? All right. So that's just, that's it. I didn't do too much today, 30-some minutes. That ain't bad. But I wanted to make sure we talked about this nutrition because we have been bamboozled. We've been making some not as informed decisions. And when you are trying, right, I don't want you to have your back up against the wall and not know what you're fighting up against. So that's why I want to have this conversation so that you can make better, more informed decisions so that you can feel better, right? Be healthier and all of that good stuff. And all of these discussions are about health. We're not talking about weight loss. Too many people focus on weight loss. That's so many discussions for another day. But I just want to make sure we have that conversation to get started. And if you want to continue these conversations about nutrition, the myths, the things that we can actually do to make sure that we're living a healthier life. Because at this point, when we're 40s and 50s plus, we're trying to be healthy and live longer. Yeah, looking better is a byproduct, but it's a byproduct of following good habits. Oh, that's a whole discussion. We're going to talk about all of that in the summit next week again. If you are just, even if you've been doing a little stuff, you need a little help, you need a little boost, or whether you haven't done what you should be doing for a while, make sure you sign up for the Healthy Reset Summit so that you can get all of these tips. I say tips, but I don't know if I really like that word tips. These are strategies, lifestyle strategies to get you where you want to go. And that's facts. you're going to feel better. You're going to look better, all that good stuff. You're going to be healthier, happier, more confident, all that good stuff when you know that you're following the habits that are needed for all of those things. So, Healthy Reset Summit with me, Crystal Taylor, as your host. I am the owner of Fitness is Not a Game, and I thank y'all for being here for this Fitness Friday segment where we debunked the myths. We talked about how much protein you actually need because you don't need all that excessive protein. We also talked about we talked about eating late, whether that's causing you to gain weight. We talked about gluten-free diets, and we also talked about organic foods. So hope you enjoyed that information. I enjoyed having this conversation with y'all. I'm going to let you go and let you be. Wish you well for the rest of the day and the weekend. And please be safe if you go out there in those streets, because I just want you healthy. I want you happy, and I want you here. See y'all next time. Don't forget to sign up for the summit.